What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at Kibby Tech. This episode, we're gonna talk about your ultimate coffee getters, Ford Raptors. So I got my buddy Josh here that we met, I don't know, ages ago through, riding Harleys and stuff like that. And he got himself a Raptor, and a few years ago he hit me up. He's like, I got this Raptor, I wanna do A to Z, like, let's do it. And then, so he brought it to us to have us do a bunch of, bolt-on stuff. And yeah, tell us a little about.
Yeah, we started out, I kind of had like a little vision for what I wanted for the truck. We just did some Devers in the back and raised it up an inch. We did Kibby's upper control arms that are billet. We did Fox shocks, front and back. We did some wheels, tires. We moved it up to a 37-inch. Bumpers front and back. We did full race intercooler and air cleaner. And that was pretty much that. I mean, it was the basics. It was all the basics that you need, but kind of want to take it to the next level. Kibby just made lower control arms for this truck and tie rod kit for this truck. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna keep it the same, width for travel, but it's gonna ride a lot nicer and look a lot nicer as well, so.
Yeah, we got some new parts coming out for the Raptors, kind of like what we did with the TRX, kind of just anything that we could replicate in that an end user can just pretty much bolt on in their driveway, get a better part with more strength and just ground clearance and durability, all that kind of stuff that you want with these trucks if you're really using them, or if you're even not using them, you just want, a bunch of the cool bolt-on parts. So when we do the lower arms, we're gonna probably end up pulling the uppers off, pull the shocks off, send the shocks out to KDM, have them rebuilt. We're gonna rebuild and re-anodize the uppers. The detail guy got a little wild with some chemicals and kind of messed up the anodize a little bit in there. So we're gonna get
gave me a stroke when he did that.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
And then do full rebuild on the uppers and the shocks while we got it down and we're test fitting and getting those lower arms in there. Maybe we'll try to talk them into some other stuff while we're in there. But
you usually can't talk me into more shit. So
yeah. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
Shiny.
While we're on the topic of Raptors, we'll show you that new lower arm part we were talking about, and then show you some of the other Raptors that we have in the shop that are, even next level up from your standard daily driver stuff. All right, over here in the machine shop, we got some parts here on the bench. This is our first article Raptor prototype lower arm. So it's 100% bolt-on design. And we added in an optional limit strap tab here that goes off of the front. So that's pretty cool. And then on the back here is our sway bar attachment point. Will require our end links that we make for these trucks. Inner pivot, so 1-inch uniball. Outer pivot is 1.5 inch uniball. So all big parts that we usually do. And on this, similar with like our TRX lower arm, we're setting it up for all aircraft hardware. So like the main shock bolt will be a RPI 12.58 bolt. So a lot of strength there. Like those factory bolts, I got that big ugly head on them, and I wanted to kind of reduce that down so I can get the front of the arm a little narrower, get some ground clearance, and just make the overall look of the arm just look a lot better. And that in the past, we've done that on all the TRX arms in the past, and it works out great. Basically, we took like our TRX arm and basically just translated all those like design cues from that over to the Raptor one, and you get a pretty similar looking arm. But you can tell the Raptor's got a lot more angle here at the end, but it's all 4130 TIG welded. It'll be powder coated black. You can do custom colors if you want. And then also you can do our badge that bolts on the front, pretty much any color you want to do there. Pretty cool part. I'm excited to get these done and get them on some trucks that we got going on here, and get them out to our customers. So stay tuned, these things will be available really soon. You can hear the lathe right now making some more parts for these things. So yeah, we can get these on a truck here soon and then start shipping them out. And then over here on the other table, I got some other Raptor parts to show you. All right, over here we got our billet upper arms. So we've been making these for a while. So we do have these for the Gen 1, 2, and 3. Cool design features on these. If you look at the bottom, we do a lot of surfacing right here. So this, instead of leaving this like square, this just gives us more room at droop for the bigger shock packages. So if you're on like a 3.0 King or Fox, this actually gives you a lot more room on the shock rather than having this come out and being like a square edge like this. So you get a lot more room here for your reservoir hoses and spring clearance and all that stuff. And then if zoom in there, you got all our nice tool paths that we do on everything. A lot of cool features and angles on these. These do run 1.25 inch FK uniball, and then we do run a 7/8 shank 3/4 ball rod end here on the outer. Super cool arm. Probably one of the first parts we made on the CNC machines when we got them in house. So pretty cool. You know, just over the years, we just kind of added some details to them and pretty much kept them the same, you know. And also right here, we got a bolt-on live valve bracket. So if you have a live valve equipped truck for the Gen 2 or 3, bolt the stainless bracket on right here and hook your live valve right back up and everything's happy. Newer parts over here for the Gen 3 trucks is our billet 5-link kit. So basically we took kind of what we did with the TRX and we kind of just made it bigger because these are about 12 inches longer than like our TRX arms. So all direct bolt-on design. At the chassis pivots here, we got our Delrin anti-wobbles on our misalignments. So this keeps the arms from rocking too much. And then at the chassis side, at the axle side, we got our high misalignment there. So that axle can move freely. Super cool parts, you know, super big. All the cool tool pass on these and everything. Got a lot of details here at the ends around the uniball cup area. Yeah, really happy with these. Got them on a few trucks already and really makes a lot of difference. The truck feels a lot more positive. The kind of the rubber bushings and everything just kind of sloppy and moves around a lot. So with these, it just keeps everything just happy. Like if you could really feel it in the cornering and, you know, keeps everything solid and positive. And then another thing we do with these is the panhard bar. So we do a adjustable panhard bar. We don't, you know, some other people, you know, do like a machined one that's just not adjustable. But if you put springs or do anything on the back of those new trucks, that rear end's not going to be centered anymore. So we do an adjustable panhard bar. So you can put it at stock, or if you lift it more, you can turn this thing out a little bit, get that rear end back centered under the truck. And then we do this cutout in the middle here. So it does clear the diff and it does clear a 37-inch spare under the bed. Really happy with this. I don't have the Heim joints in it right now, but it's got some big 7/8 rod ends that go in the ends with our spacers. And then we do sell this whole kit, comes with a bolt kit. So if you know, all the bolts are put in from one side of the truck going one way. So when you get to the driver's side, you can't get your lower link bolts out because they go right into the gas tank. So rather than drop the tank, we usually just cut the head of the bolt off and pull it out the other way and then replace it with some grade 8 bolts. So yeah, super happy with these, and got some other Raptors in there. We could show you some of these parts actually on the trucks. All right, over here in the corner of the shop, we got a brand new 2024 Raptor R. So this does have our billet rear suspension kit. And you can tell there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and obviously fenders and stuff like that. But this is running our billet 4-link in the back, and we do have some axle trailing arm relocation brackets that we do offer for these trucks. From the factory, the lower trailing arm kind of pinches in on the rear end housing, and that causes a lot of bind at droop. So we make some brackets and it makes all those mounts parallel, and they're all TIG welded chromoly, all doubled up with overlay plates and weld washers and stuff like that. And this truck is getting a coilover in the back, so we ditched the factory shock and spring combo in favor of a 18-inch 3.0 IBP King coilover. And this is running our panhard bar bracket assembly as well, which actually puts like a 15-inch longer panhard bar on the truck. So now factory, you get a couple inches of, you know, left to right, and now we get like an 1/8 inch of movement at full bump maybe, and then you know, 1/2 inch at, you know, side to side movement at droop. A lot happier with those numbers there. We are cycling about 20 inches. Not as much up travel as I would like, because at a certain point, the trailing arms will collide on the lower brackets. Kind of got to work around that. But we did some nice overlay plates on the factory brackets down there on the frame. So when you want something a little more than just the daily driver weekend toy, then you go, you know, pretty much full kill like this. So this is an F-150, so it's not an actual Raptor, but frame's pretty much the same. This has got our, you know, F-150 Raptor long travel kit, full billet upright, billet upper arms, swing set steering that's 100% billet, fabricated 4130 TIG welded lower arm, RCV axles, our big Willwood brake kit. Shocks aren't here right now, but it is running a 4.0 bypass and a 3.0 coilover and a 2.5 inch bump off the upper there. So a bunch of travel out of this thing. I think this one's strapped at 18 inches with four-wheel drive. So super happy with that. Obviously you can tell right here, we pretty much cut the front of the frame off right here and basically tubed the whole thing out on the front. Built this whole structure for the one-piece clip, and obviously you can tell it's flipped open right now. Radiator from DBM, it's got a big intercooler in it, and we redid all the turbo piping the radiator pipe, all that stuff. You can see all the black tubing in here. That's all powder coated black with T-bolt clamps on it. So we pretty much just rebuilt the whole entire intercooler and intake system on this thing. Tons of work in that. Oil filter up front with an oil cooler up front. This power steering box on the other side. Power steering reservoir over here. There's a power steering cooler up underneath. Just a lot of stuff on this thing. All RPI 12-point aircraft hardware on everything. So yeah, basically the whole front of this truck is brand new. And then we are running 40s on this truck, so you can see here to get all the up travel without the tires rubbing into things. You know, we cut some of the firewall and cab out right there. Keep the tires from catching anything. But yeah, super happy with this truck. It's kind of in its final stages of assembly right now. Updated it to like the Gen 2 front end, so the headlights are different, taillights are different, just everything up front's different, radiator fans, just pretty much start from scratch from the firewall forward. But yeah, this is like, I would say like your highest level that you can take a truck with a stock frame to. We do have another option coming out where you can run a billet J-arm setup, kind of like what we did some other truck, Dan's truck, stuff like that. And a couple different shock packages we're trying to throw around and see how big of a shock we can really fit in this thing. But 3040, I mean, you don't really need much more than that. Yeah, super excited to see this thing in the dirt. Eric uses the crap out of his truck, so I think this thing had like 300,000 miles on it, and he put all of them on it, and probably 100,000 in the dirt. Probably next time you see this truck, we'll be rolling out of the shop. All right, well, that's a wrap for this week. Tune in next week and we'll show you what else we got going on in the shop. Until then, I'm gonna go get myself some coffee and get back to work.